Hello Tech Nerd Campers. I want to show you two new features of Google Classroom that are really big and really important for a lot of the work that we do. Now the first one is being able to add a co-teacher. A lot of teachers want this feature, and so they finally put it into Google Classroom, and let me show you how to get it. So if you have a class that you're teaching with somebody else, this is how you can have two teachers in the same class, and these two teachers will basically have the same rights in the classroom. The only difference is that the person who creates the class can delete the class, and the other teacher can't delete it, but they can do everything else as far as looking at student work and grading student work and stuff like that. Now, how you add a co-teacher is there's a tab right here that says About, and it's on the right side of this bar right here. So you click on the About tab, and then when you go down the page, I have to scroll down just a little bit. On the left side of the page, there's a button that says Invite Teacher, and if you click on that, then it brings up a window that's similar to what you would see when you invite a student, and you just type the name of a teacher in here and you find them. So let's just say that I want Aaron. I'm going to select Aaron as my teacher. So if I went to find him and then selected him, then you just hit Next. And then it brings up this little picture that says Invite Teacher. And you can invite the teacher that way. So once the teacher is invited, then you will have that teacher in your Google Classroom, and then when students submit assignments, they can see those assignments and grade those assignments and do everything that you can do as a teacher. So that's the first new feature. The second new feature is that when you create an assignment, you can save that assignment as a draft if you want to, which is an excellent new feature because it used to be that every time you created an assignment, you had to put that assignment directly into the class, which means that you couldn't have created assignments ahead of time because then they would all be in your class at the same time. This way, you can save assignments as drafts, so you can get an assignment, you can get your whole class ready for the entire year if you wanted to, and save everything as a draft. And then each day when you were going to put new things in your classroom, you would just go and you'd pick the ones you wanted and you would move them into your class. Now, just quickly, when you do that, you click on the tab that says Assignment. Again, there's two tabs, one for announcements and one for assignments. Make sure you're on Assignment. And then you need to create a draft of that assignment. So you create an assignment, and then down here, instead of Assign, you click the down arrow right here, and you have a choice to save as a draft. So you can save this as a draft, and then once it's saved as a draft, you'll notice this little bar up here that says Drafts. You can click on this bar, and it will give you options of what your drafts are, and you can choose the draft that you want, and you can open that back up, and then you can assign it to your class once you're done, or once it's ready to go into your class. So that's a great new feature because it allows you to get ready at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of a month, or the beginning of a week, or whenever you want to get ready. You can get all of your assignments ready, and then you just put them in when you want your students to see them. So that's really big. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about creating a form in Google Classroom because this is different than if you want to attach a document or a spreadsheet or something like that. So let me just type that in. Here's the thing. If you want to attach a document or a spreadsheet or something like that, you attach it using Google Drive because you're going to want your students to go into that document that you create and then do whatever they're going to do in that document. A form is a little bit different because when you go into a Google form, you're actually going into the place where you edit the form. You don't want the students to be able to go in and edit your form. So instead of attaching a Google form using Google Drive like you do with your other documents, what you need to do is you need to create a link for that form, because really what your students do when they go and take a form is they go to a website where your form is located and they fill out the form that way. So I have a form open right here, and if I go to this form, what I need to do is in the top right there's a button that says Send Form. If I click on the Send Form button, it will give me a link, and if I use that link, I can share that link by doing Control-C, and it will share that link for me. And then when I go to my assignment, instead of doing Google Drive, I'm going to do a link. So I click on the Attach Link button, I paste my link, and then I click Assign. And once it's assigned, then my students will have a direct link, not to the form itself that I created, but they will have a link to the form that they are going to take. So, two new features of Google Classroom, and one thing about using forms in Google Classroom. So, have a good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.